Let me change the tone. The tune. All right. From the Journal of Jaland, nephew of Adras, king of Jaland, dated 11/4/52, first, third, and second degree of the platinum season. And two's words are as follows. It is taking us much longer to reach Pyrrhus than anticipated, shifting winds and all. Thus, we celebrated the changing of the seasons on the Sky Racer. And of course, Jeb opened the prohibitively expensive bottle of fragrance we were bringing as a gift to the elders of Pyrrhus. I do admit its aroma did enhance the occasion and bring alive the crew. The celebration provided me an opportunity to speak with the captain of the Sky Racer a bit more openly. He was interested in my research and provided me with a book on the topic not available in the archives of Corsica. Naturally, I spent the entire evening and the following day studying its contents of this ancient tome, written over 300 years ago by an Ashkenazi who studied the reliquar, the soul of Jaland, prior to the War of the Jinn. Modern theories of the reliquar's origin unanimously depict it as an organic creation, similar to the Jinn themselves, condensed forms of chaos. This writing, however, describes the reliquar as an enchanted mechanical device, built with tools, and powered by spells, not some unknown form of primordial magic. What a strange and bizarre theory. I have much to ponder on the matter before tomorrow and our arrival at Pyrrhus. And then today's date, 11/5/11, second, third, and 75th degree of the platinum season. We find ourselves in the beautiful skyline of Selkirk, the outskirts of the town of Selkirk, specifically in the home of Timit Muir, an Ashkenazi artist and retired hunter. Timit has lost his muse and is struggling to complete a totem for the ritual of effervescence. He sent Shim, son of Holly, to the Quarry of the Kings, north of Selkirk, to find him a new medium to work with. The party is currently rifling through Timit's old hunter's gear to find items that could be useful on their journey to capture or kill the dandelion, a beast that has been troubling the townsfolk of Selkirk for the last few days. The party's quest, like if this was like a quest log, you'd say like capture or kill. So your choice on how you want to complete this mission. Timit has agreed to let you each borrow one item from his stash. You may keep it if you bring back Shim safely. You may also keep a second item if you bring him back he also wants you to bring him back some floatstone or even better yet, a geode from the quarry. Also, he needs a reference drawing of the faces of the 5 statues in the quarry that depict kings, Jinn kings specifically. Pinot mentioned that there was a Volt Genasi that lived nearby, kind of on the other side of the river though, named Piker Nor, who may be able to help you if you need help finding a way to capture the essence of these statues. And that's where we begin. Any questions, or do you guys want to go through and tell me what your decision is for which items you want to take?
Can you remember what the tracking lantern does?
Yes. It allows you to select a specific creature type, and then it gives you like benefits for actually finding those creatures. It's a real D&D item, so you can actually look it up. It's not one
Oh,
that I
okay.
created. Yeah, so if you type
Got
in
it.
Lantern of Tracking, it should be a real one.
Gotcha. And then the other one that I think you did create is Stormcutter's Dagger. What does that do? It's +1 against storm.
Yeah, a little bit different. It's you can add 1 to the attack and damage rolls against storm clouds specifically, and you add 1 to your AC for attacks made by storm clouds against you when you're wielding it. And does require a
Okay.
teammate. So it's
Gotcha.
defensive and offensive bonus against
Nice.
specifically storm clouds though.
Gotcha. Oh.
Yeah, I'm certainly drawn toward partially above game for the name alone, but also in game toward the Curse Crusher's Crucible. I've spent a lot of time in the past with a young man who had contained a lot of his power in a small vessel item. And so this cup/bowl type item is interesting to me, and knowing that it has any associations with increased effectiveness against one of the three most common challenges in Jaland, being rats, storms, storm clouds, rats, and curses. And so I'm just interested in seeing how I might contain manifest magic within this. And knowing that the dandelion that we're seeking is typically peaceful, I'm also curious whether a curse could be involved, but I don't know what curses necessarily mean in this world. But
To give you some more information about this device, it's got two kind of settings that you kind of figure out while you're like tinkering around with it and while you're asking Tinnet some questions about it. It's got two flame options. One is the Fire Flame, which adds one to your spell attacks, your spell save DCs, and spell damage against curses. And then the other section is called Bubble Flame, which instead of looking like fire, looks like kind of bubbles that kind of like bubble out of this crucible, like almost like water pouring out of it, but upwards. And it adds one to your AC, add one to your saving throw, and then subtract one damage dealt by curses towards you. And it requires attunement. So there's an offense and a defensive setting.
Very cool. Action to toggle between those.
Action to toggle between them.
Sick. Yeah, I'm very interested in that. Physically, what does it look like other than being a sort of crucible? I feel like maybe it's wider like a bowl, maybe it's narrower and taller, more like a cup. Is it either of those specifically? What does it look like? Material makeup?
Or cup-like. It's made out of stone, and then again, it has like a bottom section that rotates back and forth for the two settings. And then that changes kind of like the magical energy that is boiling up from the bottom of it.
Sick.
Bubble flame is something that you'll find specifically in springs often. Often the springs kind of bubble with a healing sort of flame. Anyone else?
Just to clarify, the Lantern of Tracking, it says it is it predetermined which creature type? Because I think it only goes to one creature type, and I think it's kind of up to you before it gets picked. Is that how you were imagining it?
No, I was imagining that you get to pick which creature you're going to be looking for.
Okay, sweet. Can you change it after it's been selected?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sweet.
So a little bit of an upgraded version from the one that's in D&D.
Oh yeah. I think Steve knows what
Similar
he's
to the
picking, right?
Crucible, it has like a rotating element to it that allows you to shift between different creature types to track them.
Ritaba and Coakley?
Coakley doesn't know why he picked up the strange key, but Coakley has spent his existence watching his creator do non-obvious things with non-obvious items. So he would immediately know that like his creator would have found a very specific reason and implementation for picking up a non-obvious thing and a way to use it. Coakley just knows it's a non-obvious item. It's a weird thing, and his gut tells him, "I'm gonna go with that one." So that is why he went for the strange key or the strange magical key.
Again, love our wisdom over intelligence, like our gut feeling Autobot. It's so sick.
Yeah, there's not much decision making for Moritaba picking the spear. He sees it, he grabs it. It's something he's grown up hearing about. If you were to ask him, you'd find out that he's never actually been able to get his hands on one. But yeah, there's not a lot of wavering on the decision there.
For you, the rules of that are: each time you make an attack with the Temestis spear, you may choose to add either a +1 to your attack roll or a +1 to the damage roll. Decision must be made before you roll. However, if you roll a 1 on the attack roll, you need to make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, you take 1d4 bludgeoning damage. As the spear, the power of the spear comes back to bite you. I'll put that in the chat.
Telemachus is really tempted by the knife, but he'll reach for the lantern of tracking. Specifically, his thought process is, I want to see the unseen kind of vibe, and that's actually kind of something that on I think his one of his skills. I should probably have his sheet open. I don't know if I think I went with insight and perception, but this like deer wizard, will one day be wizard. I have this idea of him like always kind of having a little bit of an eye focused on what's not there and what's not obvious, and I think that would call to him of being able to have like a different layer of detection available to him.
Sweet. So, everybody set with their choices. You may add those items to your inventory. The only ones that needed additional text, I added into the chat. You can just make a custom item, change the title, and then throw that text in there. That would be perfect. And Tinnet, meanwhile, as you guys have been asking about these different items, has been busy kind of with some Tempestus-powered chainsaw-like device, cutting through wood, but not really being satisfied with the artwork that he is creating. So he gets frustrated, and he turns to you all and he says, well, if you're looking for more information about Dandelion, there should be a book about them somewhere inside. Check my bookshelf. And then once you're done, give me some peace and quiet. I've got much work to do. Oh, and don't forget, if you do check out Piker, a reminder, Piker does not like to be bothered. Kind of similar to me. Especially by outsiders. So be on the lookout for traps if you head in her direction. The passcode, as always, changes each day, but it's really easy to remember. It's just today's date. And he gets back to work.
What kind of creature is she?
Here, Piker's a Volt Genasi. From Gigas, originally.
Helpful, thank you. Good luck with your art.
Oh, and please, remember, help me find my muse. Bring it back. And if you could, save Shim too.
Save Shin. We shall save Shim, save your muse, and save the image of the 5 statues.
Be back when you can.
Alright. I head off playing with my new lantern.
I regard my crucible with reverence and then stow it in a vestment pocket. Very well. Moritaba, did Timit mention that he had a book available on dandelions? Is that something you could retrieve quickly?
Yeah, I'll go inside and grab that.
Head inside.
Looking for books.
Go ahead and make a investigation check as you find the bookshelf. See how long it takes you to locate this.
Dirty 20.
Ooh, very nice.
Wow. You're able to locate a bestiary that looks like it's suitable, and you flip open to a page, and you see this kind of picture depicted. I'm going to show you kind of what the dandelion looks like.
Excited. Amazing. Amazing.
The dandelion. As you read through,
Amazing.
discovering
Oh, we can't kill it.
information about this creature, you find out a few bits and pieces of information about hunting or attacking this creature. You learn that it is a quite good at flying. It has a fast fly speed, and it is able to hover using its kind of tail as almost like a buoyant device to actually allow it to like hover in midair. Its most notable feature is its noble roar, causing even the most brave individuals to flee in fear of its mighty presence. Be careful of its Sipsila tail. It uses its tail to throw seeds at individuals that are capable of very much hindering your ability to move. So it is very much a fast, agile creature that is, when it battles, attempts to lower and limit your speed so you can't catch up with it.
Art's fantastic. I want a Pokemon that is that cub and that involves it to the adult.
So you do a little bit of research and you find out a little bit about battling this beast.
Have you
Very
any of
well,
you ever
well.
killed a beast before?
I've been on hunts before. Your odd wild creature. Trying to supply food for the town.
I don't know if you are all familiar with them, but have you heard of a woodworm? A shadow dragon? Legends I have filled in my time.
You yourself killed legends?
With a group of allies, I admit. And then he looks over to Moritaba, and though I have slowed in recent years as I have taken on a squire and fallen in line with the teachings of the Order of the Four Winds. Sudden shift in explanation. But we should all become very knowledgeable about each other's abilities. Should something attempt to slow our gait and we are not able to keep up with our foe, what sort of competencies do you all hold that might avail speed, movement, mobility? Or aiding each other of the same? Please,
My
not all
plan?
at once.
My plan is just to hide faster. And then strike with strength when it doesn't know I'm there. Because I can't do anything about getting move if I'm hindered. I have a longbow though, so I could be fine.
A steam genasi form has its benefits, and I've been wondering if I might be able to coalesce my form into pockets of benefit for others' use. But I will have to study somewhat further and experiment with my abilities before I'm able to achieve that. I don't know if it will be in time for the dandelions encounter.
All right, you guys
Moritama,
ready to
what have
move
you trained
onward?
in lately? And yeah, we can definitely sort of be moving while chatting.
Yeah, I'll put you on the village map so you guys can be heading back to town while you are chit-chatting about your abilities.
Hell yeah.
Well, as you know, I can bolster my fortitude with some of the simple magics I've acquired, but beyond that, it's, you know, I'm quite agile, but beyond that,
I have seen you conjure minor winds, though. That can force movement, if available. Could come in handy.
only in
Coakley?
small bursts.
What of you?
I do have a wonderful new key. I'm not quite sure what it does, but maybe it will avail us some help.
All right,
Otherwise,
then.
I will do my best to keep up and perhaps slow down this enemy.
Could we be, as we're chatting, are we walking to Piker, her house? Can we be?
If you want to.
We
Up to you to
certainly should.
decide.
Yeah, because I don't think we have good artists in our group per se, or other means of like accurately putting down the visuals of the Jin statues. So if she has some device that can avail that, I think that's pretty much we need to go to her. I know that was kind of presented as an option, but I feel like we need to do that.
Yeah.
It is
What
along the
happened to
way
Taka?
north. So you guys, if you're heading towards the quarry as well, just a reminder, it is along this northern path.
Perfect. We'll just need to keep an eye out for traps and defenses against solicitors.
What kind of creature is the dandelion? And I'll ask that to the Moritaba since you looked at the book.
Yes.
Do you know what type it is?
It seems to be a fairly simple.
I want creature type.
Oh yeah.
Did you get that?
Was there a creature type alluded to in the book?
Creepy type.
Yes, it would be under the beast category. Generally, there isn't an option on the list, but for the lantern itself, but the lantern can find beasts.
Oh, sweet. All right, I'll probe the little fire with my finger and like, all right, beast tracking. Let's see what you can do. And then it should illuminate if we get within 300 feet of a beast.
Okay. Currently, it is not illuminated.
Sweet. Hiker's place then.
Yeah, I'll be sort of trying to connect with the essence of the crucible and see if I can tether my essence to its use as we walk. I don't know if that'll be sufficient, but I'll try.
As you go, you can certainly begin to attune to it. That can be definitely something that you do kind of passively as you hold on to this device. So I'm assuming you guys are heading back into town.
Yeah.
Yeah,
up north.
if that's where
Or
Piker's
did
house
you-
is, yeah.
Okay. So as you guys return to town, change the music to our village music. Okay, as you guys first enter town, you did kind of notice that the people of Selkirk seemed to be very wary of your presence. People averted their gaze, they moved more quickly to get out of your way as your group passed by. But as you walk into the streets a second time, you notice the town folk maybe are starting to warm up to you. They seem a little bit less apprehensive, a little bit more curious about your presence. You catch more glances and points in your directions, There are conversations that you kind of overhear that spring up as you pass by. Individuals are interested specifically when they see a Kirakin and a walking robot, and of course a human. Our two Genasi individuals obviously catch a little bit less attention. However, more Moby, you are kind of unique for a Steam Genasi, being such a strong, large, powerful individual. So maybe there are a few that mention you as well in their conversation. But as you get into town and you head past the Ease and Breeze, you do see that Holly has returned inside, and the Dark Redeemers are nowhere in sight. As you pass, however, a group of small Genasi children approach. One small boy that seems to be about the age of 6 walks up to Coakley and asks, "Are you real?"
You see, I feel like Coakley does twitch a little bit.
Error 404, physics not found.
I do believe I am. Every definition I can think of the word real meets something that I qualify as. How would you qualify real? And I feel like Coakley is like,
Uh,
because these are like Genasi kids, so I feel like Coakley is
yeah,
bending at the hip and just like getting down super close into their face.
yeah. The kid looks a little taken aback and he says, "Wait, that's not what I meant. I meant, are you alive?"
I'd refer to you my previous answer. I once again do believe I am alive.
Huh. He kind of pokes you in the forehead. "What are you made out of then?"
A metal composite from a plane far away from here.
A plane? What's a plane?
And I feel like Coakley does like a 2-minute like Oxford English Dictionary just definition of like what defines a plane.
Uh, and like halfway through your like explanation, the kid just starts like trying to talk over you. "I'm Rem. I've been to a festival before, but never seen a big metal man before. You're pretty interesting."
You have been to a festival before.
Yeah.
On fuck, where are we? We're on that's no, we're not on Paris. We're on Selkirk. A festival on Selkirk?
Nope.
Was it
It's the first time.
What was what's the place due north teardrop of us?
I think it was
Corsica?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is no longer there.
Correct. Were you at the celebration on Corsica, the most recent one?
Nope. But I did hear that anybody that was there at that festival didn't make it out. Hopefully this one will be better.
I do hope we do not disappear, because we are planning to stay for the festival.
Yeah. My pa said it's because they didn't do the ritual of effervescence correct. Probably what happened.
Is your father well versed in these festivals and the whatever fucking word you just said that I just couldn't even remember?
Effervescence.
Is your father well versed in these festivals and what needs to be done correctly?
Yeah, he knows everything. Probably.
Most parents are the smartest people in the world. I would say that. Who is your father?
My father? Yeah. He's a traveler here. He came for the festivities. His name's Gray.
Gray. Well, I'd be excited to meet Gray at some point and discuss the correctness of the festivities that we are going to be attending.
I'll tell you all about it, probably. I'm sure. And then he kind of scampers off with joining the group as more children kind of approach you and ask you similar questions. But over where Telemachus is, a slightly older girl, probably age 9, tries to sneak up behind you and tug on your braided fur.
Oh, my tail smacks her a little bit.
Kind of like teeters off balance, but laughs. I had the same braid as you did. Did you get it done here?
Did I? Yeah. Well, who made my braids?
Just somebody in the festival. No one
I
in
think in the town
particular.
square. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say yes. I did get my braids here, but it would be rude to touch someone else's braid, right? And I poke her braid.
Oh, sorry. Are you a Kierankin?
I am. Have you ever talked to my kin over at the spring?
No, never the spring, but I've seen others like you before. My family used to live in Gigas. You can tell that this
Oh.
is a small Volt Genasi. There's like electricity kind of running underneath her skin. Yeah.
I want to use.
I
Are
go.
Volgenaces kind of common, just like Steam would be?
Yeah, just as common. Maybe not as common here. Most common Genasi type here in Selkirk is an Ash Genasi along the
Hmm.
spine. That's particularly where you'll find, but you'll find all types of Genasi. So less common, but still common enough not to be too strange.
Little Volt baby kid, how do you say hello in your among your kind? And I want to
We
ask her
say
like how to
hello.
get a primordial hello.
Oh, primordial hello.
Whatever. Do they speak? Do the Genasi speak primordial languages?
Yeah, they all speak like Orin, Air Genasi, Orin.
Oh,
And that's
sweet.
probably
Okay.
what you guys are all speaking right now. Like that's their version of common. So she just
Oh,
says,
okay.
I don't know, you say hello. How do you do it,
Okay. So never
Kieran?
mind. Well, I'm specifically going to go meet older Volt Genasi lady, so I didn't know if you could teach me a greeting that Volt Genasi use.
Hmm. You should ask her what she's learning about. Ultinaces love learning.
Thank you for the tip, little one.
Yeah. Now, the real question I have for you is, you gotta have gemstones on you, right? 'Cause you're a Kieran. They always do. Can I see them?
Yes, but I'm afraid I can't give you any. You might be tempted to ask to take one. Um, and I'll pull out an odd cylindrical item and I will show it to her. And I actually have what it looks like, but I don't remember how to send it.
Ooh.
But what you see is like of like something like picture about this big, so like almost as long as two hands together. And it's like cylindrical, and there are lots of different little crystal gem discs and like pieces and bits, and it looks like a really like kind of confusing little instrument. And I will show it to her. This is a book among us Kirin kin, I say to her.
Did you say a book?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Wait, how do you read it?
Oh, like this. And I'll ignite it with light. Um, and there's like kind of like, you know, when you look through a spyglass thing, what are those things called?
Kaleidoscope.
The one, yeah, it's like a kaleidoscope, but like there are like kaleidoscopic lights that like emanate from it, and when they land on surfaces, you can see like faint writing that you can't really see on the glass itself, but is on the wall projected out because I
That's
cast light into it.
Ooh, she says, and then you get like the biggest crowd of kids kind of crowding around you with the light display.
I'll mess around with
Um,
them, and anytime, well, if I'll say, "Oh, it can only light up one thing at a time," and I'll like light up one of their little objects, like whatever something they're holding, like one girl's little bow, and it'll like glim or dimmer, like get like less bright, and I'll just be casting light on their different objects to just keep them amused and entertained for a few minutes.
nice. Moritawa, one boy approaches you, and he like sniffs at you and looks at you like skeptically and says, "You're a human, right? How come you don't smell like Materium?" He
Uh,
sniffs at you again.
well, I'm from Pyrus, actually. we humans have been living there for quite a number of years. I suppose we have been moving away from our original scent.
How'd you get there?
I'm not entirely sure. The legends spoken of in my town say it was a grand moment of chaos where my ancestors were suddenly here without any reason or understanding of why.
Whoa. That means you could disappear at any moment then and go back, right?
I should hope not, but I suppose there's always a chance for that.
Maybe it'll happen at the festival. You heard what happened last time, right? But maybe this time only you'll disappear.
If I'm the only person who is required to link the fifth wind as opposed to all of Corsica, what happened at Corsica, I would be very willing to make that sacrifice. Just not a lot of playfulness in my tone. I'm just responding to him very, like, level-headedly.
And he, sees some color out of his eyes, and he runs over to Telemachus and is like bouncing up and down, trying to get the kaleidoscope. Give it to me! Give it to me!
No, if any of you little brats touch it, it would break. I threw an image of it in the Discord. I just AI'd it, so it's like a rough approximation of what I was imagining.
Nice. Let's see. How do you open up the Discord chat again?
I know, I always have the hardest time navigating there.
Show chat, there it is. Jeez. Only thing I see is Mikey Mike's a lot.
Oh. Meow. Never mind.
Darn.
Okay, I'll put it in.
Put it in the Roll20 chat, maybe. Anyways, the last interaction I got for you is two little kids. Two of them this time approach Moby. And they look at you, and you can kind of like hear them whispering to one another. And they're like snickering, but then they like, when they see you looking at them, they like put on this like really weary face, and they're like, "Oh man, you look really strong. I bet you could carry us all the way back to the town square. We're real tired. What do you say?"
I sort of instinctually, defensively, sort of as I catch them approaching from one side, I kind of step in front of where my companion Jay is standing, just so that I can sort of intercept them so he doesn't need to deal with them. And as soon as they start throwing these things on me, I just say, I'm looking off in the distance, sort of northward, surveying the lay of the town that will likely need to cross momentarily, and I just say, "No."
Oh, come on, you look really strong. We're tired. We can't use our legs anymore.
Strength must be put to valuable use.
All right. Come on, let's go look at the lights again. And they hop off toward Telemachus.
Moby smiles to himself, very slightly satisfied with himself for having minimalized the conversation required with these little kids.
And so Telemachus and probably Coakley, you end up with the biggest crowd of cheering children as you eventually, though, make it towards the northern gate. They do eventually catch their eye on a large, kind of like giant whale-like creature that passes by, and they all go running after this like 8-foot tall creature who's carrying a large weapon in his hand. And as you guys continue to the north, you make it to the gate. I hadn't passed through this gate before, and so as you step on through, you guys are all the way back up this way, by the way.
Perfect.
So up here. As you pass through the northern gate, on the other side, standing, is an individual that Moritaba recognizes. It's the sheriff, or not a sheriff, one of the officers, I guess, that you saw at the sheriff's office. Standing there, is a Sanjanacy. It's Timberhawk, the one that you actually talk to on the inside of the sheriff's office. As you approach, Timberhawk kind of like hesitantly like breathes into his hand, again hesitates, kind of looks awkwardly at you guys, and then doesn't know whether to put it down or put it forward, so he just puts it forward towards you all.
Is that like a greeting again?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very he's having a hard time being like, "Oh, authority. I have authority."
Mhm.
So Timberhawk is the sheriff.
Wendell was a sheriff, I believe.
Oh, Wendell,
No,
okay.
this is one of Wendell's, I guess, deputies or one of the other guards of the
Got it.
town.
Got it. Okay.
Knowing that
Um,
it kind of
oh.
was awkward the last time I tried something off like a hybrid, I'll just do a breathe into hand and drop it down at the side and acknowledge his authority as we start making our way forward.
And does anybody else make any gestures towards him?
I think Coakley would follow suit, but due to the lack of breathing, would just like close it around
Miming
face
it.
plate. Yeah, and then do whatever the deferential one.
Yeah, I'll do the deferential one too. I'm not here to cause a fuss.
I'll sort of look to the side at Jay, and if there's a little bit of acknowledgement available, I'll sort of nod, and we'll just do the same, fall in line.
Yeah, Jay will do the same, except for he will not breathe out. He'll kind of mime it, just like Coakley did. And he says, and he looks a little awkward. He like scratches his head, and then he says, "Oh, hey, you guys are the newcomers, right? I saw you in the office, right?"
Yeah, we made our way over to the Ease and Breeze thanks to your directions. And actually, it seemed like the innkeep there, I think it was Holly, was having a bit of trouble, so we're off running an errand for her.
Well, the road is unsafe today. We've had numerous reports of dangerous animals attacking travelers heading north to the spring. And you see he's like kind of reading something in his hand. On authority of Sheriff Wendell, the path north is off limits until further notice.
Oh,
And he
but
just kinda,
you don't? Did you not know we're heroes? It's our job to go where it's dangerous, and Wendell specifically asked us to go deal with those creatures.
he looks at you confused, and he like looks at his little script that he's got written out.
It's like, I just work
Well, it
here,
doesn't
man.
say what to do if it doesn't say what to do if you guys are heroes.
I'll actually push forward in this moment of indecision and sort of just puff out my chest a little, stand a little bit further upright. I'm not as tall as Coakley, but otherwise a fairly large member of this group. And I will present myself very close to Timberhawk, threateningly, but just very commanding, and say, "We are under direct orders from your superior to deal with the dandelion threat and any others we might find north of town. You wouldn't question the word of your superior, would you?"
Make an intimidation check for me, please. I think that's what you're going with, right?
It is what I was going for. Not quite hostile, but
Mhm.
I'm prepared to use heroic inspiration on this. I think I might want to use heroic inspiration to get a little better roll there.
Can you
So
get
I will-
advantage from me having softened him up?
Yeah.
Soften them up. How so?
Was that what I had said about the heroes and like throwing them off? Could that be a help action?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you advantage. Yeah, help action. Sure.
Let's go. All right, so additional roll from the advantage. Okay, I won't expend my heroic inspiration. I'll stick with a 15 and see where it gets us.
Well, I mean, if Wendell said so, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. You probably want somebody to take care of that issue, right? And it must be
I don't
you
think
guys.
you want to, right? Because you're next in line if we fail.
Oh, rats. Of course not. Yeah. You guys go ahead and report back to me if you're successful. All right?
Indeed, we will.
Okay. I'll stay here and wait. Good luck.
You honor your post. And with a nod, we'll just briskly continue forward.
So you pass Timberhawk, and he kind of watches you guys go as you get to kind of like a fork in a road. There's a path that heads west, a path that heads north, and you do recall the directions that Timit gave you, that the engineer's house,
Bikers.
Biker, was north right after the northern gate, or was west right after the northern gate.
Once we get like a couple 100 feet away from the village, or like I'll check the lantern just to make sure nothing's gonna no beasts are ambushing us.
You check the lantern, and again, no beasts within 300 feet. And by beast, it's only going to pick up things of like a certain AC. You know what I mean? It's not going to pick up rats
Yeah.
or well, I guess rats it would, but like mice and smaller critters and stuff like that, we're not going to consider those beasts.
Sweet.
All right, so you guys head towards the engineer's house.
Indeed. And a
What kind of
reminder
engineer is
warning
this?
that they may have traps waiting for us to dissuade unwelcome visitors. So if anyone wants to scout ahead, now might be the opportunity as we fall into some of this tree cover.
As you guys kind of approach, I'll bring you to a new screen. You kind of head into the woods, unless anybody is going to be the first one to enter before anybody else. Anybody interested in scouting ahead?
Eh.
So you all kind of arrive together, and you can kind of see the house kind of at the top of a hill within these woods. And there's a pathway that leads up to the top. Maybe 100 feet away from you all when you get to the base of it. The path kind of forks in multiple directions, to the left, to the right, but this is kind of the way it looks like this path is intended to be taken.
Do we go around and not try to trigger any traps on the path? Or is that where she would have trapped?
The passcode, was that to be like announced, or are there like ways to deactivate the traps, or?
Probably just given at the door. What's today's date?
I believe it is 11/5/11. If I heard the beginning of this session correctly.
I was like, Crit, how the fuck did you know that?
But isn't it in degrees though?
Yes, I
Fifth
don't
degree?
recall the rest of it. I'm outside of the Order of the Four Winds. Cultural designations for the time are strange. Well,
Well, when you
Moritama?
guys figure out the date, I will start scouting for traps.
Very good.
Well, it's kind of weird that you talk about the culture of the Four Winds so much. I like don't really want to make a conversation about it, but how much you brought up your like estrangedness from it is starting to make me feel like, why is he kind of like not be missing, like, you know?
Yeah. Love it.
But as I sort of begin to step forward, I will first, in case there's anything dangerous and that could harm us, I will, with spear in one hand, you will see Moritaba do a series of hand motions that start channeling the wind, and instead of doing like a push that he did on Telemachus to blow dry him, he will channel them into his own mouth and begin filling his lungs as I take a breath of life to give myself some temp HP.
Nice.
And then I will begin carefully moving forward to look for traps.
Now that we're out of civilization, I'll also allow my dread appearance, my mage armor, to manifest visibly again.
Ooh, okay, I'll swap you out.
Is that, and I'll say to you as you do that, oh, is that to make her feel more comfortable when we go greet her at her door? Just let her rib you.
Yeah, I'm struggling to rebuke that comment. Merely
All
to
right, I wanna
fend
go
off any creatures that might dissuade our journey up this side of the hill.
Rebuked. And then I'm gonna touch MK's forehead and get a little bit of like crystalline dust on your eyes. And I'll cast guidance on you for survival if you're about to start looking off the track. Moritaba, if I said MK. Good luck scouting us a path.
Coakley will follow up behind Moritaba. I've spent quite a few years with another engineer of sorts, and if they are of a similar mind, I might be able to help. My creator was quite unique in the defenses she left around. So I'll hitch up behind Moritaba and assist in any trap searching that he might be doing.
I actually would have picked probably investigation for this kind of thing.
I
Since we're
think it's
looking for
honestly
traps.
fine because I'm bad at survival, so that might balance me out, and I'm already pretty good at investigation.
I have to choose, and I'll say it's for invest.
Invest.
Have to choose per new guidance.
So Moritaba and Coakley heading forward. How are you searching, and specifically where are you searching?
I guess it's kind of like move a step forward slowly, evaluate like the road, the path, and then once that first step is cleared, I'll look to the sides off of the path and see if there are anchors in the trees or like anchor points for like any sort of, I'm thinking like Indiana Jones, like stepping on a pressure plate and then an arrow will fly out. I'm looking for like where those arrows would fly from, things of that nature.
All right. So as you head forward, I'm gonna have you roll a survival check.
There's something else I want to do to help. I'll grab an arrow off my pack or out of my quiver, and I'm gonna shoot it with my longbow. But I'll cast light into it first. So any spot that you're investigating much, I'll just shoot a different arrow and give you some light on that area.
All right.
Roll.
Sweet. So as you, and then direction. Are you heading straight or are you heading on this path? Which way are you going?
I think the intent is. That is a good question. I'll start by just scouting ahead the straightforward path.
Okay.
Not paying much mind to this little offshoot.
Yes. With the 16 being a pretty decent roll, you don't notice anything until you get to about this point right here. When you turn to face towards the west, to the left here, you notice almost almost invisibly a line that kind of goes through the sand here, right? Like there's something that's kind of in the wind maybe, or something has pressed down into the dirt, making kind of a line that goes directly across right when you would step onto this path.
Well, let me see if there's a range on this. Yeah, there's a good range. I'm gonna step back a little bit, and I'd like to see if I can use my gust cantrip to see if I can knock any like dust loose. Try and see if I can get a better visual of what is waiting there.
Okay. What's the range on Gus? Is it like 10 feet?
It's 30 feet, so I could step
Oh, it's
back
30 feet.
a
Oh,
decent
perfect.
bit.
Yeah, so as you cast Gus in this direction, again, you kind of see, and this time you see it a little bit better. It looks like there's a thin wire that is being stretched across this direction right here, maybe 15 feet from one of the rocky walls all the way down to like the base of this rock wall. Kind of sways in the wind, which makes it kind of gleam a little bit, and you do catch and see a string going across.
Do I think we could
A
walk
tripwire.
over it pretty
Yeah, you
easily
could-
if we know that it's there?
Knowing it's there, very easy for you to walk over it.
Okay. I will wave us forward a little and then be willing
But a
to
foot tall.
step over it carefully.
Okay. As you pick your foot up to step over it, before your foot lands on the other side of the wire, it collides with something invisible that feels completely solid, and kind of, as you bump into it, it almost sends you backwards, not from it pushing against you, more so you just pushing against it and not expecting to see something there. Not expecting there to be something there.
What
I
in
feel
the
like
world?
Coakley's hand would be out to catch Mortaba as he starts stumbling backwards.
What in the world? There's something hidden invisibly here. I'm hesitant to push forward. There's this little tripwire here, so be mindful of that, but I wonder if it's a two-stage trap sort of thing.
Mortaba, if you step back for a moment, and Coakley's gonna just grab like a handful of dirt, sans without big rocks, because I don't want to accidentally trip the tripwire, but essentially do like a pocket sand throw at like 5 feet in the air, just directly above, and like kind of where Mortaba hit.
Toss it forward, and it like stops as if hit by like running into something like an invisible wall, and it just kind of slowly starts to fall back down.
And it seems like it's just a big wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Moby, what were those degrees again?
I call
5,
up toward you
11.
because I'm maintaining a healthy 50, 60 foot distance from you guys, doing a great job scouting and surveilling ahead. I believe I caught one of the locals in town saying it was 11, 5, 11.
And whatever he
Then something about degrees.
whatever he shouts up to me, I will try and enunciate as loudly as possible directly at this invisible wall to see if this is stop one for the password.
All right, you say the number is 11, 5, 11. Nothing happens.
I'll throw the sand again just to make sure it like didn't disappear without me not realizing it.
Sand still hits an invisible barrier blocking your path.
Mortaba, shall we try the slope?
Can I touch the invisible barrier and cast light into it?
On it or into it?
So it says you can touch one large or smaller object that isn't being worn or carried by someone else until it ends. Until the spell ends, the object sheds bright light.
So you put your hand on this because you have to touch it then?
Yeah.
As you put your hand on it, the like surface feels kind of rocky. But, like as you press a little bit harder on it, it feels like almost spongy. But you're able to cast light on this, and it illuminates kind of what's it say for the size of the structure it needs to be?
Large or smaller?
Oh, then this would be too big for you to illuminate.
Okay.
You attempt to illuminate it, but whatever this structure is too large. But you do find out that it is. Doesn't seem like it's too solid.
Oh. What if we trip the wire and this thing gets out of our way?
I don't think you usually
Typically-
set up a tripwire to let you in.
But what
Because
if this thing, like,
anyone who walked
squishes-
into this would activate it.
What if the wire like makes it squish you or something?
Can I try and follow like one end of the tripwire to see if there's like a bomb or a spear pointed at us?
Yep.
Or a little switch that says pull here.
Yeah, as you follow it, I'm guessing towards the wall, or do you want to follow it towards the slope?
I think I would follow it like due north on the map is where I'd expect like this to go. So I would follow it due north first.
You follow it, and it goes into like kind of like a bush, and then behind you, if you pull the bush aside, you can see that it's like anchored into the wall, and you see some glyphs kind of around the outside of where it's been anchored into.
Oh. Do I have any inkling as far as I know this is arcane of sorts, do I have any inkling as far as like what these glyphs mean?
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check.
What do I get, like plus 12 on that?
This ain't roulette, baby.
I know. Did it come through? Hold on, I gotta refresh. I don't know where my features. There we go.
Yeah, you can kind of understand what these sigils kind of represent. One of them clearly is some type of an illusion-based spell, or indicating some type of illusion. And then there's another one that kind of indicates, like a breaking or like a destruction, sort of more of a evocation style spell. Either way, there's kind of two features or two things that will occur if this tripwire is stepped on.
I will relay that back to.
So we
The
might be
group.
both right. It might get
Correct.
rid of the illusion, but it also might like hurt us a lot.
May also blow us up.
And it would tell her we're here, but also we don't need to sneak up on her. Does anyone have anything to throw? And I want to start stepping back away from the. Or should I just try to shoot the wire, which sounds impossible?
You want to make it a contest, see who can hit it first?
Yeah, but I have a crowbar I could chuck at it. I think, yeah, I'll do. Yeah.
I like the idea of us posting up and trying to shoot all of our arrows at this.
I
I'll-
call
I'll
up to you.
finish.
Are we making any progress?
Yes, but we could use your magic. Don't you want to show off what you can do, or are you going to stay back there scared?
Well, I sort of huff to myself and reluctantly, but commandingly, start moving up forward. Like surprisingly easy to manipulate me with a show of like cowardice.
Patient and confident at the same time, or commanding at the same time.
Yeah, so I will move up and sort of get closer to my allies over here and encourage Jay to follow behind me at a safe distance. What am I needed for?
Well, if you have a better idea than this, and I cue up my longbow to shoot at this wire, you can intervene.
As you do so, I'll what are the components for this? Oh, just I don't need a component, so just verbal and somatic. I will simply raise my voice and speak a word, and I will just grab into the air, and you'll feel your arrow just like unnotch itself, and then you'll see translucently a little like loose, vague form of a hand made from nothing but steam in the air in front of me. Perhaps I merely pluck whatever wire you're thinking we aim at from a safe
Oh.
distance.
Yes, that's perfect. Just why we needed you.
I put your arrow back in your quiver with the mage hand, so I will functionally be having mage hand up. And 30 feet
okay.
away is the range, so I'll carefully identify the location of the wire for self-preservation. For sure, I'll make sure I'm as far as I reasonably can be from it, so 30 feet away from the wire or so, and I will simply conjure forth my mage hand, and it will just slither through the air almost like just barely visible wind, and then you can see it kind of manifest more as a hand when it slows down near the tripwire, and I'll just, with the mage hand, give the wire a tug.
Is everybody where they would be when this occurs?
Oh no.
Want to make sure your characters are... Place yourself exactly where you want to be. Hopefully that includes you. You're down south here.
Yeah, I got it. I probably would, because I would have been
30
up
feet
here
away.
by this. I would have wandered this way a little bit more.
So, the wire, as it's plucked, it snaps. You hear like a twang, kind of like a guitar string breaking, or I guess a bow loosing an arrow kind of sound. The first thing that occurs is all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a giant stone wall appears. It just materializes in place. And then there's a few kind of like small little tiny explosions everywhere. And this whole thing starts to collapse downward. It lands right in this area right here. Kind of, fortunately for all of you, in this 3x3 area right here. And each of these kind of like sections of this wall goes like flying as it hits the ground. And they do bounce and land right at Moritaba. You are close enough. But as they bounce into you, Moritaba, you realize these aren't real stones. These are like foam blocks that are like painted like stones.
Love that.
This is like a trial run of a trap.
Oh.
Pretty intimidating sight, but harmless nonetheless.
Well, onward. I veiled the way forward.
Gosh, dang it.
Thank you,
The
Toby, for your
dungeon breaks
bravery.
like this.
Yes, thank you for reminding us too.
And yours as well, Coakley. Surveilling done well.
Coakley would definitely pick up like 4 or 5 of those foam blocks, because I'm assuming they're really light.
Yep, they look exactly like stones.
No, I'll pick up like 2 of them and like be carrying it and just like examining these like foam light blocks.
Alright, you guys walk onto the kind of second layer here. Who's leading the way? Telemachus, are you in the lead now?
Yeah, I'll start leading.
Moritaba shall lead. Or Telemachus, you wish to lead? Very well.
Actually, would you like to?
I can if it is required. You all seem to be doing an excellent job scouting.
I just want to give I'll guidance my own self for perception, and I want to stare up at the hill and see. Can we see the house from where we are? I just want to see if
The
we triggered.
large wooden structure.
I want to see if I'm looking to see if there's any movement or reaction to the fact that we just made that trap go off.
Make a perception check. With
I
guidance,
could
I
do that.
suppose.
16 plus 2, 18.
You notice no changes. Whether or not somebody knows of your arrival here, they have not come out of the building.
Okay. I guess we'll keep going, moving, looking for traps as we go.
Okay. So Telemachus, if you are in the lead, I'm gonna have you make a survival check.
Also, from my notes earlier, when the kids approached us, I have Genasi children approach, and Rem asks about Coakley's identity and reality. Just like, what a heavy question.
Do you
Love
ever
that.
ponder the nature of your own existence?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's the
Got
best.
10.
10. Okay. So you continue forward. You don't sense anything. And then Telemachus, I'm gonna have you stop right there. Go back one. As Telemachus steps there, all of a sudden he vanishes. Telemachus, you fall
400 feet.
20 feet down. No, 20 feet.
Wow.
And then you land on a soft mattress. And
It's
you look
rather nice
around
down here.
in the hole that you're in, and there is, it looks like a box sitting next to you too.
Is it?
It's
Should
got scribed. It's got a note on it that says "Open me,"
I open the note or the box?
and there is some rations and a water contained in there.
Oh, this person was very nice.
I don't think
You
they
look up.
understand what they're setting traps for.
And
Well,
this
clearly-
hole
Yeah,
is
they
kind
don't want
of
to hurt anyone. They just really don't want to be sold a new pest control. You know.
yeah. The walls look very steep in this 20-foot hole. Seems like it'd be difficult to get out. Fortunately, you won't starve. You have food and water.
I'm snacking on rations when they find me.
Telemachus, are you okay?
I landed on a mattress. It's very comfortable, but I need to get out of here. I have a rope.
I also have a rope, and I'll start feeding it down to you.
My
You
hands,
watch it.
me strolling up slowly, my hands behind my back. I just call down, very resourceful, finding a padded place to land.
An arrow shoots up next to your head as you walk up, and I've attached a rope to the end. I don't know if it latched on, but I was trying my own exit. When you get, I just want to shoot it next to your head. Yes, well, this person was very considerate. They left snacks. Between the rope from Coakley and my own rope, can I scramble my way out of the hole?
Make an athletics or acrobatics check.
I'm so good at these acrobatics. It will be. I rolled a 7 plus 5, 12.
Yeah, that should be enough to get yourself out of the hole, especially if anybody's like tugging on the rope to help you up.
Yeah.
You're able to get your way up to the top. You now are full if you ate the rations.
I
Well
did.
hydrated. Got a nice little lunchbox.
I took a micro nap down there too. Ready to press on.
So the rest of you hop over this 5-foot hole, I suppose.
Indeed.
Oh, I didn't show it to you guys. Hold on, let me put it on the screen. Oopsies.
There's an image of the hole.
That's just like a
Oh,
hole.
I was picturing like a side view of a hole with a little mattress at the bottom.
No, nothing like that prepared. Alright, Telemachus still in the lead.
I'll let someone else lead. Oh, okay. Am I just becoming the canary deer on the hill?
My
I feel
eyes
like that
blabber.
metaphor
briefly
fell
shift to
apart very
Moritaba.
quickly.
Yeah.
Telemachus, are you searching or are you just walking now?
I will guidance again. I'll guidance for another survival as I press forward, not really wanting to drop again, even though it was kind of fun.
Give me another roll.
Okay.
Copley's walking behind and has like turned his rope into a lasso of sorts, and is just just ready to toss it.
6.
A 6? Okay.
Yeah.
You don't spot anything as you continue forward. Stop.
No.
Nope, go back. As soon as you step on that tile right there. No, forward one more. Yeah. Telemachus goes flying up into the air, and he is dangling from his leg, his hoof, I suppose. His hair, his fur, hanging downwards. But Telemachus, as you kind of like reorient yourself, dangling right next to you is a knife.
Oh. I'll take it.
As soon as I see Telemachus go upside down, I want to try and lasso him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Make a dexterity. Yeah, just give me a dexterity check. A lot of hands. Nah, just do dexterity. Wow. Okay. You also have Telemachus lassoed. So he's lassoed by, I don't know where you lassoed it, for like around his arms, I guess his torso.
I think I would have gotten one of his arms, yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to start pulling him.
Yeah, you're kind of hogtied right now. You got your leg stuck, you got your arm stuck.
With
Coakley
the
is
one
tugging
hand I
on
do
you.
have, I want to grab the knife.
Okay, you grab the knife. It's like attached, kind of like you'll notice like a tree root kind of grows out of the side of this cliff right above you. Rather sturdy one, and like I guess the trap that you've sprung, the wire or the rope that holds you, at the same point drops down this knife. You can attempt to untie it with one hand, or you can just kind of manipulate it as it's still attached to the rope.
Oh, I see. I'll slash it down and then I'll get tugged towards
As you're
Coakley, probably.
doing this, Coakley's like, Telemachus, I've got you. Do not worry. Telemachus, I will get you out. Friends, please help pull. Telemachus has been taken by the tree.
You're stretching his like arm and his leg out, but then Telemachus cuts the rope around his leg and he crashes to the ground, and now you're dragging him through the
I've
sand.
got you, Telemachus. Do not worry.
As you're calling
All
back
right.
to us, I sort of mutter under my breath, friends? Oh, and then I sort of surprisingly move forward slowly.
All right, I've taken a couple for the team. Someone else can go first now.
Yes, it seems that, though not particularly dangerous, still rather inconvenient. And I will begin to lead the way.
Very generous, Moritaba. You do pirates
Sure,
justice.
when he does it.
It's just an X for this one.
Telemachus, you had very quick reflexes when falling down that hole. You did quite well.
And while falling up that tree, you did wonderfully.
Indeed.
Ah,
Your
the
scouting
praise of my
services
friends
are
warms me.
well appreciated.
Alright, Moritaba in the lead this time.
Yeah.
Alright, Moritaba, make a survival check.
Raw dog in this
I like it.
-1.
I like the idea of just constantly giving you guys compliments, and I think it's encouraging like continued behaviors almost, and it's just so condescending. It's not sarcastically intended to be that way, but it's just I'm a prick.
13.
All right. You continue forward, looking for traps. Don't spot any just yet.
Seems to be good so far.
Up. All right, you get to that point. Back one more. Perfect. And out of like a hole in the side of the cliff here that you didn't notice right away comes bounding out towards you. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I gotta move you for a second.
Dandelion.
There's that monster barreling towards us.
Ferocious looking beast.
Oh,
Is that a rat
Is it a
or a
puppy?
wolf?
Oh,
Arr.
oh no! I accidentally clicked off the thing. Can you throw it up again?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I want this
Amazing.
sticker.
Yeah. A ferocious looking beast. It runs up to you, Toby Rama, barking. Got a bone. No, it's got a ball in its mouth, and it spits it down at your feet, and then sits, looking at you patiently, its tail wagging.
I'll pick it up. Just kind of throw it the way we came.
It runs after it, grabs it, runs back to you. But this time it's sitting maybe 5 feet away. Towards this way. And it sits there, looking up at you, with its tail wagging.
Moritaba, have you found a new friend?
I don't think I have time to raise a pet right now.
It does kind of look like it's
Tell me about.
not necessarily like living. It does look very strange indeed. And Coakley, you kind of have this like feeling that you've had before. Your sense of like electricity. This dog has like electricity, lightning flowing through it. You've felt this feeling a few times before when you've seen the Volt Genasi children. And then you do also have this feeling once again when looking towards this house, now so close by. You have a sense that there is a lot of energy present on this hilltop.
I'm just gonna start walking forward, not having thrown the ball yet.
It like rotates and now sits looking at Coakley.
Did I see like? Does game recognize game? Does robot recognize robot here?
For sure, definitely. This is some type of mechanical dog programmed to play fetch.
I would Coakley would definitely like sit down like cross-legged across from this robot and like try to pet it the way that a robot would pet another robot. Where like a human would be like just like kind of be patting it. And I mostly would just like take a second to examine it, and I would say, "Friends, we are fine with this creature. Please continue on ahead." And
Thanks.
Picks up
I shout back to you as I've passed you.
It picks up the ball and spits it back at you. And then seems pleased by being pet.
I would definitely give it like a few more tosses of the ball before tossing it back into the hillside where it came from.
Yeah, each time it picks it up, it's trying to lure you back down the hill, you can tell.
That's
Oh,
cute.
interesting.
It's gently dissuading people from continuing up. Amazing.
At some point, I would say like, "Program well executed," and I would give it like a pat on the head as it did that.
And
then-
as you leave, it's still sitting in the last position where you left it. As you guys continue up the mountain. Or hill, I should say. Moritaba in the lead.
Keep on pushing forward.
Keep on keeping on.
Survival check, please.
You wouldn't think that I have a -1, but I swear I do.
Love that.
This
Rolling great.
time, as you're heading up, you have the sense, you've searched everything, you kind of got a sense of what these traps have been like, and you do indeed think that the coast is clear. There are no more traps as you approach this building. What you notice first when you get to the front of this building is this large wooden building. There is a very abnormally large copper door that seems really out of place. Definitely not the original door constructed for this building. There are 2 rotating dials and a lever on the front, and no keyhole. Above that is a sign that says, "Go away, please."
Is it like 2 sentences? Is it go away, period, please, period?
I was imagining "Go away, comma, please," but that, same meaning.
Quite the polite door.
What did it? Didn't it
Moby-
tell us that she wouldn't want to talk?
I do believe Tinnet said that she would be averse to conversation. Moby, I do believe this might be your time to shine. If I'm examining these dials, do they look like they have numbers and degrees on them?
Yes, there are 2 rotating dials. I'll put them up on the screen. That go to 100.
Oh, that's awkward because we have 5 digits.
What layer is it on? That's on the GM layer. All right, hold on. They're gonna be up top.
Oh, high school
Upright.
locker style, maybe.
Yep. Essentially, but 0 to 100, and then a lever.
Moby, if you need any assistance, please let us know.
Immediate crisis of conscience as save face. I must maintain authority and reputation amongst this group. But how do I input 5115 into this? Very well. I will take the dial on the left. Coakley, with your offer of assistance, would you take the dial on the right?
How far apart are these dials? Like 2 inches?
Yeah, they're like pretty close.
I believe this one is for the date, and I will input the date. I think that one is likely for the degrees. You may input that.
Of course.
Do we, other than me hearing 5115 as the DM described it at the beginning of the session, do we actually know the date and degrees of?
You probably would, right? That's the so you would understand that. I was waiting for you guys to ask, but the year is 11/5/11, so that's the year.
11/5/11 is the year.
5/11 is the year. Second third is like the month, and 75th degree is like the day. The platinum season.
Okay. So that further confuses how we're supposed to. Too funny, man. Too funny. Okay. 11/5/11. The second third in the 75th degree.
I immediately spin mine to be 75. Moby, add to your...
No!
Awfully brave of you to take the left one.
Uh-huh.
You can physically rotate them, by the way, guys.
Whoa!
Whoa. All right, I'm gonna say they don't include years on this if it's just commonly understood what year it is. So I'm hoping month and day is the date. So I'll try and go to how do I put the second third on here? There's 90. Well, there's really still 100. So I kind of want to put it to like 33 or 66.
23?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'll put it to 23. That feels so wrong, but
Alright, you put when you turn yours to 23 and when you turn it to 75, you hear a click 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 and then it stops, right? As you're not moving it anymore. You push the handle down.
Coakley,
handle
is
left or
yours
right?
is yours set? Yeah, amazing, amazing. Is the hand on the left or right?
It's on the right.
Oh, damn it.
Coakley.
Thank you for your guidance, Moby. And I will pull the handle.
It doesn't. It like moves a slight bit, but it does not give a satisfying like clink to indicate that the door is unlocked.
Oh,
I'm not above admitting that there's a flaw here. Would one of you others like to try your hand at the mechanism? I am no whiz at engineering.
Coakley turns to you and goes, "You were wrong?"
Pardon, I should have clarified. The combination of us seems to have not been sufficient for the door. There will need to be another combination attempted.
It's not me, it's you.
Moritaba will walk up to the one you had put in 23 at, and I will input 66. 66.
I'll leave mine at 75.
75, I think.
I'll like
is
jiggle
good.
it to make sure it's at 75. And then I will pull it again after Moritava updates it.
If this works, there's no way out for Moby.
yeah.
It does not work, unfortunately. I need you guys to make a history check for me. We'll see if anybody has used these type of locks before.
History.
Dude, and my good
First
modifiers, I rolled terrible.
whoa.
Come on,
Oh,
Telemachus,
baby.
save us.
Telemachus really relying on you here.
Telemachus has been like, oh, I don't really look at numbers of this script, but I did roll a 16, so I have occasionally.
Yes.
Okay, you've seen these locks before, and you know each one requires 3 digits to be entered into each.
So
Like a high school locker.
So
So
the first
11,
one is 11,
5,
5,
11. And then the second one is 2, 7, 5.
2,
Oh, second,
3,
third.
75.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay. I'm down with that.
I will do 2.
Alright,
We'll go all the
so
way around. We'll go all the way around. All the way around.
11,
Yeah, you've had to do it physically for this to work. You gotta spin it.
5,
3. Wait.
11.
2, 3, and then I go back this way. Oops. Wait.
Oh yeah, I hate now the fucking way you had to do a
Go.
full rotation.
Yeah. You gotta
Yeah.
skip it, and then on the way back, the first one. I literally have nightmares sometimes that I cannot remember my combination to my high school locker.
Alright. What did we end up inputting? We'll start with the left one, Moby. Or Moritaba.
Yeah, I let Telemachus or Moritaba input it.
Telemachus
No,
is just in the
no.
background like, guys, you have to do
Yeah,
3.
no, I can't input it. Yeah, I tell you the 3, though. I give you that. one.
11, 5, 11 for the first one.
3, my lord.
And for the second one, Coakley?
2, 3, 75.
And then you pull the handle.
I will yes, I will pull the handle once more.
This time you get a satisfying clicking sound as the handle pulls all the way down from being like at a at a 0-degree angle, all the way, well, we'll go upwards to like a 90-degree angle, making a handle that you can then push the door forward and enter into the premises of this building.
Pyrus is an older, more traditional make of door where I just started trailing off.
Do we go in? Is it so the door's open into a house?
Yep, and it enters inwards. You guys peek in?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll peek in.
And I will allow my mage armor to fade and sort of become steam that dissipates again.
Yeah. The door swings open and enters into a large workshop area. Books, bottles, and a multitude of magical and scientific equipment clutter the shelves and cover the walls. A large wooden desk covered in paper sits in the very center of the room. At the desk sits a small voltage AC, just transcribing writing from a book to paper on the desk. She doesn't glance upward as the door opens. However, behind her, two 6-foot-tall stone guardians with electricity illuminating from their cores stands behind the desk against the far wall. Their eyes come alive as the door opens, but otherwise they remain motionless. The most noticeable feature in this room is a series of massive glass spheres, each a different color, with spinning flags on the inside, each rotating at a different speed. I will change screens for us. Kind of like a vibe of what it's like.
Whoa, cool.
That's a sick picture.
And then let me show you some other stuff. Here
The
is
swirls of
the
those creatures makes me want to fight them in Wind Waker.
here is our individual. I will shift Z.
What's her name?
And-
Piker?
Hiker.
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 Piker.
And this is kind of what the devices look like, except for there are a bunch of them, and each one is a different color.
Wow. Telemachus says that.
They're like hanging from the ceiling.
This place looks magical. Hello, Miss Pica.
Okay, so as you guys enter in and one second. Sorry, change the music back to this. My bad. Okay. As you guys enter in and you say hi, she says, "Hi, I'm busy," and does not look up.
So are we. We hail from various parts throughout Jaland, but have been sent here on a task to collect a device with which we might record images presented before us. So we will simply make use of that and be on our way.
Yeah, what does this have to do with me? Can you read the door? It says, "Please go away."
I
I'm
look
busy.
back to the group. What does it have to do with her again?
Correction. The door says "Go away, please." Master Tinnit has sent us here, or recommended we talk to you, for the device that my friend just mentioned. We're looking to not keep it, but borrow it if possible.
Borrow it.
For
Yeah,
a mere day or two, until we return it safely intact to your hands.
Listen, I appreciate you getting all the way up here. I'm sorry you've wasted your time. I'm busy. I'm researching the dimming light in Jaland. This is a very important research that I'm doing right now. I don't have time for guests and visitors.
The dimming light?
Yeah, what have you learned about that?
And that kind of like piques her attention as she looks up from her writing for the first time. Ah. Have you heard of the dimming light in Jaland?
Only in passing.
Ah.
We have heard about it.
Opposite.
It's not something that we physically noticed, is it?
Most likely not.
Okay.
We know various factions that run amok throughout Jaland utilize the dimming as a speech point, but to their own ends. Perhaps you might inform us of the truth.
Well, some consider it even blasphemous to even speak of or consider that the reliquar would ever eventually fade. Only of those of the various factions, like you mentioned, believe in this truth. But my task is to provide evidence that the light is dimming, not to rely on mere genasi perception, but hard truth, evidence. Others in my order are researching gravitation, dramatics, windology, but I have been tasked with studying radiance. She points up towards the devices you see above her, hanging from the ceiling.
Do we know what radiance is?
Radiance just refers to like light. The study of like the light in Jaland. If you recall, like every object in Jaland emits light. There's no like singular sunlight source in the sky. There's no really day or night. It gets dim at nighttime, but that's just basically every single object in Jaland kind of like turning down or dimming a little bit.
Telemachus, I understand that we have had very little time with which to understand each other better. However, I have noticed the nature of your bits and baubles you carry. Prismatic in nature that refract and reflect light. Similarly, I have channeled magic through this, and I retrieve my 50 gold piece diamond that is useful for my chromatic orb spell, Prism Beam. I think we both could stand to learn more of her study of radiance. It might avail us of more effective use of our magics.
Oh, well, see, I'm not looking to get better with magic. I'm looking to improve my blade work, and I'll like take out one of my swords and I'll like light it up. This is just a casual trick most of my people can do. But I will like while looking at her, say light is important to the magic of the Kirinkin. I don't know if our light is like your radiance that you're studying though.
What light do you refer to?
So him, like the Azamar aspect of like my character means that he has the light cantrip, and I do think like light through crystals is part of like the magic of the Kirinkin. But I don't know if you have any idea of like the moon or that like celestial group, if that kind of light, if there's any magic like there. Because I also don't understand radiance. So, I mean, Telemachus can say, well, that's what I don't quite understand, but maybe you can bridge the connection, Pika.
Right. You're saying a different source of light. Yes, what I study is the light produced here by the reliquar, the soul of Jaland. You're referring to other devices that produce their own light. That is a completely different topic in of itself.
Well, how do you study the radiance then? How do you measure it?
Well, that's what I've been trying to figure out. See these devices up here? It is known as a radiometer. It measures radiance.
And are these radiometers put to use in many of your constructs, or is it just this one?
Shucks, what do you mean?
Well, Tenet did suggest you might have a device, a mechanism, a tinkerer's contraption that might store and refract light in some way that it would capture the images one could see.
Ah, yes. That's another one of my creations. I named it after myself. I call it the Picto Obscura. The device and the name is a work in progress, I know. It is but a prototype for now. And it should be my backup plan should my radiometers fail to produce accurate results.
Would it help if we used the Picto Obscura to get you evidence from the field as backup data?
Or test
could.
the reliability of such a mechanism.
That could be helpful. Like I said, it's just a prototype, but the more we use it, the more we'll learn about it. Could be interesting. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I can trust you all with it. Such an important device. You haven't even introduced yourselves. Who are you all?
I nod to Moritaba.
You have the pleasure of addressing the Golden Herald of the Order of the Four Winds. I myself
But
am
you may
his,
call me Moby.
I myself am his humble squire, Moritaba.
I am the humble hero Telemachus, and this is our robot companion. Maybe we could put the Picto box in his head, and he could snap photos for you, or snap measurements for you. And I kind of push the Coakley towards her, hoping that he might interest her.
She says, "Careful there. One step closer, and they'll kill you." And she points to the giants behind her.
Oh, that is not something we're looking for today. Simply this obscura item that you are talking about would be something we'd love to borrow and help you with.
She looks at you curiously and then grins and says, "Yeah, that was just a joke. They don't actually move. Not just yet, at least. It's a work in progress. Based on some modern Gigan technology mixed with a little bit of old Harkonian magic. Purely for intimidation purposes only. Come on in." And she enters you into her premises instead of just having you guys stand in the doorway.
I'm taking it all in. Does it seem like a magical lab
Oh yeah,
from all the
definitely.
stuff that's around? Oh.
There's books, there's devices, there's these giant orbs, like I said, taking up a majority of the room. Each one has the center part spinning at different speeds, different colored glasses for each one. Red, blue, colors of the rainbow, essentially. A few clear ones.
Your laboratory is extremely well stocked. Very impressive.
Thanks, I've been here for, quite a while now. I left Gigas to find some peace and quiet, complete my research. Very important.
Could you not conduct your research in Gigas?
Have you been there in a while?
I've never been there.
Oh, well, things aren't like they used to be. Not a great place for doing research on Radiance, let's just say.
And why is that?
Ominous.
Well, not too much light left there these days.
Is Gigas losing light differently or more rapidly than other kingdoms?
You could say that. More so they've harnessing it, stealing it kind of, in my opinion.
Oh,
and
I didn't know that was possible.
They are whom?
The council. They've got their own definition for what the greater good means.
Moritaba, are we aware of a faction operating in Gigas that is encountering such activities?
Well, from what I remember from my research, do I remember anything about Gigas culture and this council you mentioned?
Yeah. So yeah, they have their own. The Gigans are kind of like more of like a hierarchy in their order of how they have their social structure. But what she's referring to is this magical device that's been created on this like kind of more technologically advanced kingdom. Most technology in Jaland comes from Gigas, and they've created kind of a singular power source on their continent known as the Beam that powers all. And it is a very dark kingdom unless you are close to this kind of universal power source that they've created. What you know of their factions is that there is one called the Mechanicus Rex, and you do notice that symbol on her. She's wearing it around her neck.
Interesting.
I'm sure if we took a look behind us, we would see Jay fumbling around with all his different symbols.
Oh yeah, because he had that one on. Oh yeah, he's like, once again, yanking that one off and then just being like, I'm not wearing anything right now. Well, do you have interest in this, in learning about the radiometer or the Picto Obscura? I do indeed like talking about my research. It's been quite a while since I've had a visitor who's been interested.
Perhaps once we gather some
Interested,
useful data with the device, you can use that as a launching off point into informing us.
Are you sure you wouldn't like to hear about it now, firsthand? There's so much to talk about.
You know, it has been our experience that that experience itself is profoundly important as a foundation for all educational pursuits. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, you're still going to need to know about the device if you're going to use it.
Fair enough. A gesture for her to continue.
Over there on the wall, and she points to a shelf, and you see kind of a larger device that does kind of look like a Polaroid camera. There is like a lens on the front and the back, a screen sort of device, and she explains to you all. The Picto Obscura contains two interwoven pieces of technology, the pictometer and the illumograph. The pictometer is able to record in radiance of an object and is located at a location at any given moment. However, it's directional. It must be pointed at the subject you want to record. This information is transferred and linked to the illumograph. The illumograph displays a mirror image of the radiance as recorded by the pictometer. However,
I pulled A to make the text go faster.
However, and this is when the brilliance of the device really shines. Once linked, the pictometer will continue to display the current illumination of the subject. Position is conserved, but duration continues, giving the viewer of the pictometer a real-time display of the radiance occurring at the location. A very complex piece of enchantment and technology.
So if we took a
That
picture
is fascinating.
I know, right?
So if we took a picture of this room and then left this room and went down the hill and looked at the picture image, we would see it empty except for you?
Indeed.
For how long?
That's a good question. You should find out for me.
That's fun. Wow, that would be amazing if we could borrow it. We are a trustworthy group. I don't know how to prove that to you, but we are. Do you take my word for it?
We have won the approval and good graces of the sheriff's town back in the city, if that is of any consequence. We also are ongoing an effort to restore Shim to Holly of the Ease and Breeze. If that is anything to relay to you our goodwill. I think our eagerness in learning has become apparent here within your abode. Are these qualities that may align with trust for you?
Wait, you guys know Shim? Can you, if you do find him, can you tell him to hurry up? He was supposed to deliver my meal hours ago.
Who is Shim?
Holly's
I need
son, who we're
context.
supposed to go rescue from the dandelion attack.
He's the kid. We don't know yet.
Yeah, he was going to retrieve a geode.
Oh yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
Tennant
I got it. Thank you.
Quarry, and apparently
Holly's
also a
son,
meal
like,
for.
Schmidt's apprentice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna
yes,
need
we have to
a.
relay to him that your meal is long overdue.
I'm gonna need a persuasion check from you, there, Moby.
Yeah.
He forgot to tell you, the kids in town like us. Kids only like trustworthy people, right?
I don't know if that's true, but I do like the idea of you guys testing out my device. See if it can replace the radiometer. Well, I'll let you borrow it under 3 conditions. Number 1, you gotta promise to use the device during the effervescence in 3 days. I don't want to leave my study to observe the ritual, so if you could record it. And also be sure to record any personal observations you notice while the ritual is taking place. Number 2, I'm going to need a meal delivered to me as soon as possible, since my delivery's been late. So if you could find Holly and let her know, and remind her why I pay her 5 coppers every single day to have Shim deliver me a meal, that'd be great. Just leave it by the door, knock 5 times, then pause for 3 seconds, and then knock 7 more times. That's how I'll know it's you. Or, if you find Shim, tell him that. And then finally, number 3, if you leave immediately. Pretty
I
busy.
start walking out.
Do we have a deal?
We are in complete agreement, and we will leave as immediately as we are made available of the Picto Obscura device.
Pretty sure Telemachus has it in his hands.
Oh, sure,
He
yeah.
does. Goodbye. We walk out.
Alright. You're back to the top of the hill here.
Scramble the locks real quick.
Kind of you.
Well, that worked
Well.
out pretty well.
The refraction and control of light is certainly worth study. But good gods.
At what cost?
But God, by the gods, what cost?
What?
I know jogging's healthy for you, but at what cost?
Well, let's make sure to avoid all the trail dissuasions on our way back down.
Alright, you guys are pretty easy to avoid everything that you passed by already, and you make it down to the base of the hill once again.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, wait. So, do we need to go to Holly and actually say that she needs to deliver a meal, or if we find Shim, we can just tell him to get back to it? Although we might be saving him from like a lion's mouth.
Yes, I think priorities are clear to us, maybe not the townsfolk.
We could have just given him some rations, I guess.
I suppose.
Didn't you have rations from the hole?
Yeah, I drop off the I just take the rations that I scooped out of the hole, and I just kind of throw them on the ground, and I'll say, "There's
Pretty sure
your
you ate those,
meal."
right?
Yes,
I ate half of it. I ate half of them, so this is half-eaten rations. I just throw on the dirt. Here's the meal. Like a granola bar left. Well, should we go deeper in looking for the creature then? The kid? The beast?
Time
Yes,
to
I
head
think
north.
east back to the fork, and then northward from there toward the quarry.
Right. So you guys head east, On the road, back north. You head into
Lantern
the
out.
northern woods of Selkirk. Kind of a little image to show you what the vibe is like. Nice, peaceful woods.
Nice.
Ooh, music shift. Whoa. Nice woods.
Large.
I keep thinking
Trees.
Jiri's the Skull Kid.
I don't know who Jiri is, but Jay does look like a skull kid.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And you find yourselves walking through the forest.
How's that lantern looking, Telemachus?
I have it out. It's kind of like Sting from Harry or The Lord of the Rings.
Okay. So you're checking it like occasionally, or are you just keeping an eye on it the entire way?
I was gonna keep it out.
Okay.
Holding it, checking it.
Who's leading our group through the forest?
So, which of us is best at following a trail? I asked.
But Coakley, you're
Are
so
you
wise
good at
and would
survival?
be better than the rest of us at surviving.
Barely.
Listen, really, any of you have shown qualities above and beyond the common scout. So choose between yourselves.
Betweens?
Is scouting your least favorite thing?
No, I'm happy to perform whatever duty is required of me, but I must take position near Jay. He is skittish at times and requires a close confidant.
I said nothing to you guys this entire time, by the way. But like to Telemachus or Oakley.
Yeah, just kind of look at him uncomfortably. I don't know what to say about him, but I guess it's up to us three. Coakley, do you have any interest in helping with scout survival, like scouting, trail following, or are you not speaking
I
up
would,
because
I
you
would
don't?
love to lead the way.
Oh.
Coakley will
All right,
lead the way.
Coakley. Survival check for me, please.
– 12.
Roll a d4 for me, please.
You got it. Hey, a 4. That's always good, right?
As you are traveling
Right.
through the forest, no rats. You do stumble across a discarded musical instrument. Not a boss battle, though. A discarded musical instrument, seemingly dropped in haste, partially damaged. It is a... What type of instrument was it? Pretty sure it was a lyre. Yes, it's a lyre.
Oh, interesting.
Partially damaged, but it seems of fine quality. Discarded on the side of the road very recently.
I
Do you think this was Shim's?
but this may have may have belonged to Shim or someone else over here. We should take this and perhaps return it to its owner. And I'll just like sling it on my hip or into my backpack.
You guys continue onward until you get to... You hear some water up ahead, and you get to the bank of a stream. And the way across this stream is two bridges. But when you get to the base of this stream, Telemachus, you notice for the first time light emitting from your lantern.
Lantern?
Yes.
Everybody, be on your guard. I think a beast watches us. I will be I want to be ready to actually cast a spell, but I'm not going to cast it yet. But I am getting ready to.
The way this lantern
Oh.
is going to work is that it has different like windows, like doors that open up, and there are 8 of them, and the one that is open is giving you the direction also of the
Oh,
closest
sweet.
beast nearby,
That's awesome.
and it is pointing in the northwest direction.
Okay, so I want to strafe to the left a little bit and see if it seems like it's on the other side of the bridge. Like, is it pointing? Is it keeping it like towards across the water, or?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
still this direction. Water is flowing this way, by the way.
Hmm.
There's a large tree. I know this one looks like a dead tree, but this one is in bloom in real life. Kind of on the middle of this like island. It branches off. But as
By the way,
you
you guys.
go in this direction, Telemachus, the light gets brighter.
Oh. Hey, you guys, over here. I actually want to go into stealth and wave you guys over towards me.
I'll make my way
I
over.
think the beast is over. There's a beast over here, if not the beast. We haven't
Jay.
decided. Are we gonna try to take it head on?
Jay, stay back for a moment, and I will join you guys. Allow my dread form to manifest visibly again. If we can identify it, I think against the storm clouds we prove to each other that we are an effective unit in combat. As long as we can strike first and hard, there's no reason we must be overtly cautious.
Because as you are standing there, as you guys are conversing, you see the light start to fade, and then dim, and then go out.
Well,
Remember,
maybe.
this thing has a range of 300 feet.
Yeah, I guess it's not ready to ambush us or anything quite like that. Shall we go across the bridge then, since we obviously don't want to get in this rapid water?
Yes, and quickly, see if the flame returns.
Yeah, as Telemachus, as you cross the bridge, the flame does return, but this time it shifts from the northwest, I guess, window in this device to just the western facing window.
If we start going off towards the other side of the other bridge, does it kind of fade?
Well, we must
Seems to be
cross the bridge
heading
then.
in the direction of this river, the source.
Well, perhaps let us
Huh.
make our way to the other side of the river and then continue west.
I agree.
Quickly, before we lose its trail.
Can you guys all make perception checks also as we're crossing these bridges?
Yeah.
8.
14.
Well,
Moritaba, you notice this tree as you pass it kind of shake, not necessarily, like maybe slightly unnaturally in a breeze, but you don't notice anything peculiar about it. And you hustle onwards past and across the next bridge.
Yeah, I guess let's head west to maybe pursue this signal.
So yeah, Telemachus, as you start to head that direction, you're past the bridge. It goes from no light to light once again.
All right, sweet. I think we'll start just moving west.
Okay.
And if it starts
Starts
getting
getting brighter.
brighter, I do want to I kind of want to stealth just to see if I can get away, like not get detected as we're chasing it.
Okay. Is everybody gonna be sneaky?
I'll try.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nat 20.
All right, you
It'll,
guys can
it'll
make
slow our
stealth check.
approach, but as long as it's not chasing something, we should catch up to it. Ooh.
There's my armor.
Although the form of my armor looks fairly half plate or plate like, it is fully silent as I'm moving around.
Ooh,
Mine is
snap.
not.
Only. Wait, 18, 18, 18. Are you with disadvantage there,
Yes.
Marutaba?
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
Did Jake
I've
get a
got a
6?
big clanging thing of chainmail on.
Yeah, and then Jay got a 6 as well. He's like stepping on branches. But you wait, tell him because you got a natural 20.
I did.
Ooh, okay, that'll counteract that natty 1, and we'll say we are sneaking rather well as a group, as a whole. We are approaching unseen by most individuals.
I'll whisper to the crew. I do agree that we are adept heroes in fighters, but we might want to find out why this beast is attacking people before we just slay it. Seems a rather majestic creature.
That's true. I am somewhat worried with warnings from a past friend of rats, curses, and storm clouds that a curse could be at play here. If dandelions are famously not hostile and even friendly, and one is now behaving erratically, I don't know the nature of curses, as I've never encountered one here in Jaland. But I worry all the same.
And Moby, while you're saying that, you do kind of get an uneasy feeling. Not something that you're like quite aware of, just more so like anxiety deep down in your gut.
Okay. Out of
We continue
curiosity,
onward.
talking about curses, feeling maybe some passive anxiety that I don't even identify per se, I am going to check the crucible that I've been sort of just like keeping close to chest inside a vestment pocket, and I'll hold it in front of me and see if I can channel any of its energy. Do I feel like enough time has passed?
Yes, you are attuned to it, and the flame that it produces does make you feel a little bit better, yet that feeling still remains.
Okay. For now, if I get to pick a default setting, I will pick the more bubbling one where it's like borderline liquid, maybe sublimation into a gas or evaporation, whatever
Yeah.
that phenomenon is. I'll choose the more defensive option right now.
Got it. The bubble flame setting, indeed. Blue, kind of bubbly flames emerge from the crucible.
Sick.
All right, Telemachus, where are you leading us?
Straight west.
All right.
Low.
Climb over that rock, and you continue westward. As you guys head that direction, you notice that you've kind of gone kind of like a shortcut through the woods. If you had continued north along this trail that you kind of left, you would have eventually gone west and would have caught on to the trail that heads to the quarry of the kings. But either way, you took a shortcut, and the lantern that Talpiran is carrying grows brighter and brighter and brighter until you get to the quarry itself.
Whoa.
And you find yourself sorry, I told you the river was going in the opposite direction. My bad. It's supposed to be going this way because the river is flowing down into the quarry. And we're going to put you guys right over on the side here. Imagine that there's a pathway that leads down into this area. And
Jim, should we see our characters?
I'm putting them on right now. Sorry.
Toward the bottom right.
Yep. And as you approach, you get to about here. I want you all to make perception checks.
Oh, you know it. Ooh, 15.
All right. All of you besides Moby. Moby, you might need to be pointed to, or your companions might need to point this out to you. But you notice that down at the bottom of this kind of rather large hole in the ground, an old quarry that has been, obviously seduction has taken place, and or secession has taken place, and now plant life is growing once again in what used to be a barren kind of rockless community. But there's moss, there's grasses, but no larger trees, just smaller plants kind of are found in this environment right now. But there is a rather large hole in the side of the rock walls right here. And out wanders your first glimpse of the real-life dandelion. He's pacing around in this kind of pool down at the base, the bottom of the quarry. And not as cool of a token as the picture, but there he is, down at the bottom. This one's a little bit goofier, but still, the dandelion. Down at the bottom. He paces about, kind of making a circular motion, or a circular kind of direction around the base of this pool down at the bottom. He is unaware of your presence.
Wait, what kind of person is Shim? Do we know? Is he a Genasi?
Well,
Mother was a Genasi.
Yeah, Mother was adjacent. Do we see what type of Genasi she was? Was she Volt or
Probably
Ash or?
She was
Is
an
that an
Ash Genasi.
elemental?
She's Ash.
Are they elementals then?
Yes, I guess so.
Can I see if I can? I want to switch the lantern to elemental.
The lantern is not going to be able to pick out specific, individual elementals, right? That's going to only be able to pick out of a. I'm going to say that this device only picks out of a certain, difficulty rating. So Shim would not be able to be found by this device if you were thinking about it. It would be able to find more powerful elementals, like maybe the storm clouds. But when you turn on this device and you shift it to the elemental, it does not register anything.
Okay. Does it point at any of my party members?
It does not.
Interesting. Oh, it must be broken. I put it away. Do we attack since we have stealth, or I mean, you can't really reason with beasts. We could try to sneak in the hole and see if Shim is down there.
Yes, I want. Yeah. We will need to get closer in one way or the other to ascertain the nature of the dandelion's behavior, or to hopefully find whether Shim is contained within its lair or cave.
While you're waiting, dandelion, you see it fly for the first time. It uses its tail to propel itself upwards, and it kind of almost weightlessly floats over to this island or this higher up platform and lands on it.
Is this the creature that blinded, deafened, and muted that group?
Rumoredly so. At a very least, we should potentially spread out and dodge behind cover. It's elevating its ascent. You can see it moving throughout the vicinity. Jay, come this way. And I'll usher Jay toward getting behind this rock. Knowing that so far we haven't made much of a sound and ruckus, but still don't want it to happen upon our line of sight if it elevates toward us.
Is everybody hiding?
Telemachus, Coakley.
Yeah, we'll hide with you, or did you want us to move? I don't.
Yep.
Are we on? We're not on the map yet, right?
Yeah, we are, and the dandelions are rapidly approaching us.
Oh, we're so small. I was really zoomed out. Okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't even see us down there. There you go.
It'll fly up for a second time, and it is going to make a perception check to see if it can spot you all. Or necessarily, maybe not see you, but smell something.
We should think of a plan soon.
Ooh.
Oh fuck.
It sniffs. And you can see it's heading in your general direction. It hops up another layer or level. And it's kind of at a same elevation almost as you guys, maybe a little bit lower, but it senses something in your direction.
I say. Oh
Jay kind
shit.
of shifts to this side of to get away from its sight. He shifts over to this side.
I want to take this like little the little amulet that I keep on my neck, the thing that looks almost like a little triangular cup, and I want to blow in it, and then I want to dump out the blown air that now has like this like kind of gaseous liquid form to it, and I'm gonna take a little bit of it and like scoop a little bit into my mouth, and then flick two little bubbles of it, one at Coakley and one at Moritaba. Moby, you're strong, right? You don't need this, and I'll give the three of us bless.
Okay. The dandelion flies one more time and lands on the same elevated kind of platform as you all. It sniffs the air.
I'm gonna get my bow out and start.
What?
Coakley, are you doing anything?
I had a thought.
I'd like to ready a dash action to like charge this thing if more severe combat breaks out.
Else?
I didn't add anything to my
Decisions?
inventory, but
As
I
we're
had
hiding.
I bought 2 sprays for 1 silver piece.
Yes, indeed.
Wind and water and floral.
Mhm.
Oh, that's pretty far though. Mage Hand is very limited in its range.
I'm getting ready to run left too.
To avail us of a potential distraction, I'd be interested in conjuring my Mage Hand at my side and giving my Mage Hand the vial of floral spray and see if I could keep the Mage Hand away from me and spray it if the beast gets too close in a direction that might gather the dandelion senses in a particular direction away from us to let us buy some distance toward the cave, possibly.
Okay. You ready your action to do so? Coakley, anything from you?
Ducking behind the rock.
Continuing to hide. The dandelion approaches, and then it hops up and it lands on top of the rock that you guys are all sitting on.
Wow.
And it stares down at you all. It indeed was able to sniff you out with this perception check. I'm gonna have you guys roll initiative.
The spray just like clatters to the ground as I am alarmed and alerted to it seeing us.
Oh hell yeah!
Wow, nat
Ooh.
20.
Dude, all of my things with low modifiers I've been rolling super
You've been
good
really
this session.
well, yeah.
You're giving our party the wrong perception of your capabilities. How dare you?
All right. We're gonna let our held actions occur first, and then we will jump into initiative. Who had something that they were about to do should combat start?
I was
Yep.
gonna run to the left.
And I will
Oh, Coakley,
use
you're on
my,
here twice.
my held dash to kind of do a loop around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And hopefully start setting up some advantageous positioning.
Having I sort of mentioned that my spray dropped out of alertness, but if I could functionally release the held action, I'll just say I instinctively just spray with the mage hand the spray in the position it was in, a little bit away from me. So like maybe I don't know anything about the capabilities of this thing's senses, but maybe the use of it in a particular square toward the creature might have some effect. So a spray is sprayed. I don't know if that will be consequential.
I gotcha. The dandelion, however, at the start of combat has an ability.
Ooh.
It's called its noble roar. The dandelion produces a powerful roar that can be heard for 300 feet. However, as this dandelion opens up its mouth to produce this noble roar, no sound escapes its mouth. It is completely silent. And it kind of like shakes its own head and is startled, and an angry look appears on its face. And it looks at all of you with aggression, and you can tell this thing is almost feral looking at this point. However, Hypermoby, it is your turn.
Oh, is it or shouldn't it be Moritaba's turn?
22 is what it's saying for me, but I don't know why.
I rolled a 13. I wonder if that's a stored value from a previous
Oh,
combat, maybe.
oh yeah, probably. Let's see. I got Mori, Taba 21, Hypermoby 13, Telemachus 12, and the Lion 10.
I rolled
The
at
only one I'm missing
21,
is
but
Copeland. You
I
got a
rolled a
21?
21.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
the
I'm not
chat
on there
has
anymore.
our rolls, but some of them weren't lining up with the initiative.
Okay. Let me fix that real quick.
I definitely didn't
Then-
click my icon when I.
Where is your icon?
Oh, I'm not there anymore. I'm eaten by the dandelion.
I don't know where you were. You put yourself where you're supposed to be.
Right
And
here.
then I'm going to add a turn for you. And then you rolled a 16, I think.
16, yeah.
Alright. And then let's reset this.
And then 21 for Telemachus as well.
21 for Telemachus. Okay. Which one of you has the higher dexterity?
Me, wait.
Definitely Telemachus.
Alright,
He-
Telemachus, you are up first then.
I let an arrow fly against this guy.
Alright, make an attack.
Oh shit. I rolled it, but is it coming through? Oh,
There
10.
A 10. A 10 misses. Your arrow goes wide.
Oh shit. Sorry. I'm gonna put the
Shouldn't
actually.
have blessed. Does that make a difference?
Oh shit! I do have bless.
I don't know if
Oh
that'll
my god!
break
I rolled a
AC, but
4 or a 2, 12.
Unfortunately, the arrow still misses.
All right. Thanks for the reminder on my own bless. I will end my turn. Actually, I'll move a little bit into a different spot, and then I'll end my turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes.
Moritaba.
All right, I will continue with my kind of rapid dash and get to about here and make my first attack with my Tempestus weapon. I will take the spear and try and imbue the wind into the damage of the strike for a +1 to damage instead of attack roll. So it's just going to be basically my spear. And I have a d4. So 18 to hit.
18 does hit.
Alright. I am using it in 2 hands. So it will do
Darn.
7 piercing damage.
Alright.
And what again does sap do? Now the dandelion has a disadvantage on its next attack. Yeah, and I'll stay right there. And that'll be my turn.
Sweet. Okay, so you pierce your sword, or no, your spear into the side of the dandelion. And kind of like having to like point it upwards as this
Right.
creature is kind of 10 feet or 5 feet off the ground. Coakley, your turn.
Am I correct? This thing like looked distressed.
It does look distressed. It tried to scream at you all. It couldn't. It got even angrier.
Okay.
This thing also lost its voice.
What do you mean also?
That's true. One of the sinners
The
lost
3
their
sinners,
voice.
each of them had lost a sense.
Yeah, they got desensified. We assumed the dandelion did it to them, but that wasn't necessarily implied. That was just inferred by us, I suppose. So something else might have done this to it.
With thoughts of this thing flying and fleeing away from us, I am going to hop up on the rock. And as a bonus action, I'm going to attempt to grapple the front right paw of this. Is this a huge creature or is this large? Actually,
Let's measure it. It should be, I think it is too big. Sorry. There we go. Oh, it would still be huge.
is it-
That would have been, yeah, that would have been gargantuan. So it is a huge creature.
okay, so I still can't grapple it. Sure, I guess I'll stab and a punch. I need to refresh this. Sorry. Stabby stab to start. 14 hit.
Plus,
Plus your.
Am I blessed?
Yeah, you are.
Everyone but me.
I will roll a d4.
It looks like you're gonna need it if Telemachus' strike is anything to go by.
18 to hit.
18 does hit.
7 piercing to the front right paw.
Piercing? Oh, what do you? Oh, your dagger. Okay, so you stab into this thing's paw.
Yeah, big old thorn in
It
the
tries
paw.
to yelp, but you don't hear anything.
I will then try to stub its toe by punching its toe. I don't know why this isn't going. Did anything come through? No, nothing came through.
Can you click on it in the Roll20 chat now that it's popped up?
No, I'm trying to. Hold on.
Chris?
Oh, sorry.
No, I just have 3 keyboards in front of me right now, and I don't know. It's okay. I rolled a nat 20 for an unarmed strike.
Nice. All right, damage.
You have a D4.
Yeah, he does for punches, I think.
1d6
Or
plus.
maybe you start. Yeah, we start with 6s in 2024.
Oh, I meant from bless.
Hell, I know you did.
And I rolled a 6. So 15 damage.
Wow.
Do I get
15
plus
total.
the damage too?
Nope.
Okay.
Attack rolls.
So the 20 is just by itself. There's no extra.
What do you mean?
All right,
20?
the 6. The 6. Sorry.
It's 1d6 plus 3.
Plus 3.
So,
Okay. 9. Got it.
I rolled the 6. Nat 20 gives me another 6. I'm assuming.
Double
Oh,
the
you
value.
double
or
the
double
Yeah.
the die.
2d. Yeah, 2d6. So what's the?
Okay, I will roll another 6.
11.
Yeah, sorry. I also have Savage Attacker, which I'm remembering. Do I just re-roll 2d6?
Oh yeah, I need to remember that too as well.
I think
That's
you can reroll the
interesting on
2.
crits. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you reroll
yeah.
all the damage for that strike.
You can roll the weapon's damage once per turn when you hit a target with a weapon. So part of me thinks that might not apply.
I missed it for the first time. That's it. 7, 8,
Yeah.
9, 10, 11 damage. 11 damage.
11 damage. Got it. Let's just. $11, and then you had 7 the first one.
7 piercing, 11 bludgeoning. I'm assuming it's bludgeoning.
Okay, got it. Any movement for you?
Sure, I'll try and hop back down.
As you leave its reach, it's gonna swipe at you.
Disadvantage.
Oh, per
With
sap?
disadvantage, yes.
Nice.
It is gonna take a claw strike, as you should be a 10. I believe that misses.
AC of 16, correct? Yeah.
All right, Hypermobi, your turn.
Quick question. As the start of my turn comes, adrenaline starts to spike. Am I feeling any version of that anxiety still increased? I assumed that might be something to do with the dandelion. Does that seem to be the case? Or am I noticing anything of note?
No, that anxiety, that kind of like pit in the bottom of your stomach, faded as you headed towards this Quarry of the Kings. Whatever was making you feel ill or at uneasy might have been located back where you originally found it, or where you were originally feeling it, back at the intersection with the river. That strange tree that was shaking unnaturally in the wind.
Oh.
This is a strange thing I'm going to try. I'm going to sacrifice my turn so that I can call out. I would like to try to call out to Moritaba and say, Moritaba, this thing was afflicted by the same thing that afflicted the sinners. What do curses look like from your studies? And I'm hoping to basically avail Moritaba of maybe like a history check or something by trying to use it on my turn in a weird way, if that's something that's feasibly possible.
Sure. Moritaba, make a history check.
Dude, I've
Question. Since this was on my turn, could I offer my heroic inspiration to have that be re-rolled?
Sure, I'll let you use it. Yep.
Fuck yeah. Okay, I will remove that from my sheet. Moritaba, re-roll that. Damn it!
I can't roll well on my good stuff, and I can only roll well on my bad stuff.
That is so funny.
That's
You
been
don't
my
think
entire
you
session.
can't think of like anything concrete on like what curses look like. They could be almost anything. That's what you've heard at least.
Could it? I think something dark and cursed is afflicting the waters that run to this place. Something from higher up ground, where we came from. This thing does not need to be a foe to us. But that's kind of my turn. No, nothing functional, attack or defense or whatever. Just Moby's putting some things together a little bit right now.
The dandelion's turn. The dandelion will start off by using its multi-attack feature. It gets to make an attack with its claw strike and its jaw bite. It is gonna strike with its claw at Moritaba, and it's gonna try to bite down at Coakley. Its first, actually no, I'm gonna make the jaw bite on Coakley at disadvantage because it's gonna stick its head into that cloud of
The spray.
the spray. So I will
Let's
give that a
go.
disadvantage as it gets distracted when it's trying to bite.
Thank you, DM.
Of course. Let me do the first one first, though. I gotta turn it off so that it's not rolling auto. There we go. Alright, first one, normal strike at...
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Shit.
Nat 20. Ow. Good thing I have those temp HP.
Moritaba. D6 plus 2.
What did you call your second one earlier?
Breath of Life. That
Good
was
thing you got one of
exactly
them,
how
too.
much I got from my temps, so...
Okay, so it swipes, taking away all of your temporary HP, and then it tries to bite down at disadvantage at Coakley. Another 10.
Nice.
Is then gonna take its movement part of its turn. It's gonna leap straight up into the air, using 20 feet of its movement, and then it is gonna hover the rest of its 60 feet movement in this direction. So it's gonna make, and it's gonna end its turn kind of above ground, 20 feet above ground, or actually 25, right over here above those rocks. And it's going to use its bonus action to do its Sipsilla tail at normal. So I'm going to re-roll it. Sorry. It is going to aim at... What's the distance on this? It's got a 40-foot range, so it's probably going to have to be against... Hey, you're too far away. So it's going to make it at disadvantage, so I'll keep that 6 that I
Nice.
rolled. And so Moritaba, a seed from its tail goes flying through the air like a dart, lands right by your foot, but misses. And then we're at the top of initiative.
I don't have myself. I don't see
Telemachus.
myself there, but I know I was at the top. I will. Oh, how far is it? Do we? I agree with. I agree with.
I don't know what we can functionally do with the information I've been spouting, but if we could somehow make it back to the riverbank we came from, it's possible we could deal with something there that deals with the dandelion. But I know we're in a corner here anyway.
I was thinking of checking its laugh for the little kid.
Long ways away.
That's true. I get closer so I can take a shot. Except I want to have gone like that. So I within 60 feet. So I will shoot it with my bow, which I believe has a good range of 60.
Why can't I see its range? And
If it's a short bow, it'll have 80.
oh, okay. Oh, I'm not looking at my bow. I'm looking at my short sword, which is different than my longbow. Yes, 80. Okay. Well, then I actually don't need to do that different positioning. I can go there. I'll shoot my bow. And actually, I'll stick with doing it in my character sheet. Boop, boop, boop. Good roll. Could
I
be
don't
good.
need my +4. Could be good. Could be good. And then
One
that
hits.
is
Oh,
a
and
D8
slow.
plus and
That's kind of
slow.
useful.
That's what I was trying for. So it is slowed because I have weapon mastery. And what does that mean here? It's reduced by 10.
Yep.
Its movement speed. And then I do my 6 damage. And that's my turn.
6 damage. All right.
Yeah, I look really cool though as I shoot my bow, and I feel like I hit like above the top of its neck a little bit in the mane. Is where I was aiming
Okay.
for at least.
After a Tempestus spear, a dagger, a punch, and a longbow arrow, does this thing look like it's shrugging off these blows, or are we making meaningful pain for it?
You're definitely making meaningful pain for it. It doesn't look like it's been injured too drastically yet, but you can definitely see it's bleeding. Substantially from these wounds, these injuries that it's received.
Run away from us! And then I will end my turn.
Now we're low on time, so maybe we'll do one last round from everybody and call it there. Moritaba?
Hell yeah.
I can take out my longbow as part of the attack. Yeah. I can equip a weapon when I make an attack. So yeah, I will basically kind of drop my spear in order to get out my longbow. And I will. You'll see some wind channel into the arrow as I get ready to let it fly, as I do my silver draw longbow attack. Basically my true strike. 15. Oh, and I have a d4. So hopefully just to cement it. 18 to hit.
That does hit.
Alright.
Pretty good rolls.
10, max damage,
Ow.
10 radiant damage.
Dang.
And I will.
All right, this thing is
retreat.
looking bloodied.
Very nice. And that's my turn.
Ugly.
I am going to. How close can I get? Shit. We'll do that. And we cannot get up there. So actually, I'm just gonna scoot to the side. And I think I'm within 60. So I will take one of my daggers, pop it on my wrist, and attack at disadvantage from afar.
Plus bless.
Plus bless.
Plus.
20 plus 5. Oh, a lovely 8. I'm not going to roll the bless because I am assuming I am going to miss. So
An 8 does not make it.
I'm just going to scoot right back to where I was, losing one of my daggers. Nothing from a bonus action. Nothing else.
Maybe.
You got it, Mobes.
check my crucible for a second. +1 AC plus saves minus damage. I will suggest that, if at all possible, if when the time is right and this beast could be felled, reducing it to unconsciousness may ingratiate ourselves to the people of Selkirk for not slaying something generally respected. Otherwise, defend yourselves as needed. And I will walk around and in front of that rock, and with a bonus action, I will embrace this steam genasi body for the transformation it's about to go through, and I will focus and dedicate my mind, summoning with difficulty the latent power buried deep within, and the white steam rising from my skin and emanating from my hair at the back starts to darken and then blacken, and writhing shadows claw their way through my pores like black flames that flicker and engulf my entire body past just the dread iron appearance of armor as I channel through a bonus action my innate sorcery as a sorcerer, heightening quite a few abilities, DC, attack roll benefit, etc. I sort of undergo a heightened level of sorcerer power, and then I will use my sword staff, channeling darkness, but then flickers of radiance that shimmer and elongate over the sword, and I'll spin it and shear it through the air as I send a scythe of radiant energy toward the creature as I make my sorcerer slash attack, which should be at advantage while I'm under innate sorcery.
Sweet.
Whoa.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, big moment.
Oh, 12's not going to probably do me justice, though.
It is
I assume
not,
that, I
unfortunately.
assume that misses. Okay, that's okay.
Yes. But with the last two turns and with you conveying all that information to your companions, I will give you back your point of heroic intervention.
I'll use it right now.
It was a
right
very good description. I will let you use it right now.
Fuck yeah. Okay, I'll use it immediately. That would just be one additional roll, I assume.
Yes.
Where my
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'll roll
There's
a
one
single
more
attack.
To
D20.
re-roll any die. So theoretically,
Yeah.
you just roll
And the
two.
reigning die right now is kind of a 12, so I'm re-rolling that basically. 22 to
Very
hit.
nice.
22
Thank you,
does
DM.
hit. Yeah.
And I'm gonna go ahead and roll a quick D8 because I'm still not in control of what damage type this does. So if I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be, I think luckily the 6, which would be psychic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 psychic damage to the creature.
Very cool. You see it's
That'll do it.
kind of wince in pain internally. Like I said, you guys have bloodied this creature. And I believe it is the creature's turn. Unless there's anything else for Hypermoby.
Nope, that'll do it.
Not wanting
first
to
time
get...
I've shown any, so to speak, selflessness is I'm like, now that I'm channeling this power, I'm actually going forward toward the creature with all you guys behind me now.
Go ahead.
Not wanting to get any closer to the source of the pain, it is going to, with disadvantage, fire its Sipsilatale. At long range, it's only got a 40-foot range. Oof. And it
That will not do
misses.
it.
And it will use its action to dash. Oh, but it is slowed, so instead of
Only negative 10 off
160 feet, it's well, its speed is reduced to 70, right? So it's
No,
minus
it's reduced
10.
by 10.
Yeah, speed is reduced by
Ah.
10, so a dash would reduce that dash by 20, theoretically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's only going to go 140 feet instead of 160. Still going to get pretty far away. It's going to flee to this rock kind of outcropping right there to reassess the situation as it's quickly losing this battle against you all.
It's taking to defense. We might have the opportunity to head back to where we came and root out the problem from there.
How far away was that though?
That's a good
I
question.
mean, we could like did it take us 10 minutes to get from that tree here?
Oh no, the tree is like close by. It's probably like, you know,
I imagine that
200,
the two
100
maps
feet.
are connected, basically.
Yeah, they're essentially connected together. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Maybe
then-
we could come back and make the
Because
decision
when you
of if
were
we're gonna
at
check
that
out.
place, you were within 300 feet of this. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, because it was the candle was
Yeah.
alighting. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sweet.
and we'll end there so you guys can make a decision on what to do about the dandelion next time.
Hell yeah.